That's just one issue. Then we move on to, what was it, the lieutenant?
Yeah, the woman.
No, the army lieutenant.
Oh yeah.
That got pepper sprayed in the face.
Yeah.
Where all of that was wrong, like from top to bottom. That whole interaction was bad.
Well, the point of it was the worst part. It's expired tags, right?
No, it was they couldn't see. They thought he had expired tags. He had his temporary tags taped on the back of his windshield.
Okay, that's what.
But it was a new car. It's a brand new car.
Oh, okay, that's what it was. Okay.
Yeah, and because his windows are tinted, you couldn't see the tags until you got close enough to the vehicle.
Okay.
So like, that's the rope I will extend. Is like, yeah, you couldn't see the tags unless you were up close to the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
But from the moment that he was pulled over to the moment that they let him go was all wrong.
Oh, absolutely.
So like pulling him over made sense because it's like, hey, you couldn't see your tags. I see them now. You're good.
Yeah.
That's technically his, like, and that should have been approached for Curly. It's like, hey, I'm sorry I pulled you over. Couldn't, like, I see you got a new car. I couldn't see your tags. They looked like they were expired. I can see them now since they're a little bit closer because your windows are tinted. Think about if you can potentially put the tag somewhere it'll be easily visible or whatever. They could have did that and just sit there and say, hey, can you just make them a little bit more visible until your real tags come? Like, we get it. We understand. Have a good day. Thanks for your service. Blah, 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 blah. That's how it could have went. But him and whoever the other officer was with him, which I'm assuming is a trainee, guns out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yelling. They didn't even tell him why they pulled him over at all.
Well, it shows that the fear of black skin is more important than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
It's more important than being in danger by other weapons, uniform, conversation. Like that's the most terrifying thing in the world right now is the color of our skin, because like you go because from when this video started, when I was released, they're nowhere near the car yet.
No. So
you haven't had any conversation. So you saw his hands come out the window, or you saw his head peek out the window, and you automatically got scared. That's the sad part. And then then the guy goes, I served. The cop goes, me too.
And his hands are out at that point.
His hands are out at that point
because he's just like, whoa, what's going on?
Yeah. So I mean, you are trained. So it's twice as bad because you're trained in the military and you're trained by a police officer, and you're still scared. You're still scared. That's the most pathetic thing in the world. Mm-hmm. You're the most pathetic person in the world. You've been trained by the armed forces and police academy, and you're still scared of a person who went the same training you did.
You can clearly see he's a man in uniform.
Still, you can clearly see it.
Like,
and if you don't believe the uniform, they all carry military badges.
Mm-hmm.
They call them military badges and their military IDs. You know what I mean? And it says, and he has shit on his shirt too as well.
And that's like, what rank are you? I'm a lieutenant. Like, it doesn't make sense why things have to escalate to that point, especially at a traffic stop level. Not along the fact that his dog had to suffer because his dog got pepper sprayed. Because he had. Did you know he had a dog in the backseat?
Mm-mm.
No, he literally he had a dog in the back of his car.
Sprayed his dog.
Well, you know how pepper spray is.
Yeah, the whole car was full.
So his dog started choking because they tagged him. Was it 2 or 3 times?
Yeah.
So he even brought up, he's just like, my dog is choking from the pepper spray. And the fact that he was even pepper sprayed to begin with, like.
Yeah, no.
And he's asking the police officer nicely. He's just like, look, I'm afraid to get out the car. Before he sat there and said, oh, I'd be afraid too. And it's like, okay, like, even when he's like, can you take my seatbelt off? It's like he's out there. He just like take your seatbelt off and get out the car. He's like, can you please just come in and take my seatbelt off and get me out? Because at that point, it's like, you've already been yelling at me. You've already sat there and shown that you're going to get hostile. You've pepper sprayed me now. So if I reach and I'm military, regardless, and I have a gun on me.
Yeah, exactly.
So like, if you've already hit these points, what's to sit there and say that when I reach to take my seatbelt off, you're going to start shooting? Because that would be my mindset exactly. I say, like, you want me to have my hands visible at that time, but I have to take my seatbelt off. Also, the door is unlocked. Can you please just take my seatbelt off?
Well, and then they can't argue that because it's up to the guy in Florida with his kids. The kid in the car. He was in the passenger seat. He told him he had a weapon. They said, can you hand me your ID?
And while he was for his ID, he started shooting.
With the child in the back seat.
Yeah.
The fear is unfathomable. Like, I don't understand this blatant fear of black people. Like we've never like through history, like at what point in American history did we tyrants to white people? when did we hurt you? That's my thing. Like we were slaves, we were uneducated, we kept out of things. You had your own for a long time.
But yeah, we're the tyrants.
We're the fucking tyrants. We're monsters, bro. I don't get it. I don't understand it, bro.
We haven't done anything to give them other than just like fight for our rights. He said, "Hey guys, can you stop being evil to us?" And they flip the fuck out.
It's insane, man.